When there's no more room in hell, the dead will listen to Bloodfest, the podcast.
Hello, and welcome to Bloodfest, the podcast. I'm your host, Nate. Y'all know me, know how I earn a living. I'm joined tonight by my good friend Casey. Casey, how are you doing this evening?
Great. I'm tired, but I'm here.
I'm also joined by my dear friend Josh. Josh, what's happening?
Hey, I'm sick. Other than that, I'm fine.
Huh? Oh, okay. And, of course, back with us again, Lydia. Lydia, how are you?
I'm good. I'm definitely doing better than last week. So,
Uh,
yeah.
uh, And off to my right or left, I don't know, there is Joey. Joey, say hi to the folks.
Hi to the folks.
Very good. Now, as you can all see, I'm a little pale and sweaty and peaked. Um, I'm not really
Red
sure
mark on
what
your
happened.
face.
What?
Red mark on your
Yeah,
face.
I'm not really sure what happened. So I was visiting a friend at work. He works at the UNITA medical supply building, and somebody opened some sort of barrel, and there was a gas or something, and I fell down, and I don't know. I've just been feeling kind of cold and lethargic since.
Joey, get out of there.
Yeah.
Not a, one of you, not a one of you went for the joke. All right, so tonight we're going to do something a little different. We are going to talk about one of the greatest movie stars of all time, Jim Varney. Now, the genesis of this episode was that I saw something online and it sounded wrong to me. And what that was someone had said that Jim Varney was only 50 when he died, and that didn't seem right. So I went to look it up and I went down a rather long, deep rabbit hole into the films of Jim Varney and discovered he was in something called 100 Proof. And I couldn't find much information about it except that Varney played an abusive alcoholic father who possibly molested his daughter. And so, went about trying to find it. It turns out the only place you can see it in any way is on YouTube. Someone has put a VHS rip up there. And so that got us thinking we could just talk about Jim Varney for tonight. So, first up, guys, which among you watched 100 Proof?
I didn't
Not
want.
me.
Kind of. I started watching it and paying attention to like the first half of it up until Jim Varney was in there for like 2 minutes,
Yeah, yeah,
and then I watched another 20 minutes, and then I kind of zoned out.
yeah,
I had it on in the background, but it was terrible.
yeah.
I mean,
I didn't.
it
I
looked like
didn't.
shit.
Yeah, I didn't finish it myself. It's hard to look at, and yeah, Jim was in it for like 2 minutes, but it was a good performance, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, he always gives a good performance, so wasn't surprising. But I've never really seen him in any roles outside of his, goes to movies.
Well,
I didn't realize he played in anything like outside
well,
of those, to be honest.
he actually early in his career he was a regular on the Johnny Cash and Friends show. He was on like Sonny and Cher.
Mhm.
He had a recurring character on Fernwood Tonight. He actually was pretty well established before he started doing the Ernest P. Worrell character.
Yeah, I think he was on an episode of Hee Haw as well.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes,
Hmm.
yeah. But which meant you were a big star. If you made it to Hee Haw, you had made it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
all right, so let's move right along. So I know that each of us watched a number of Ernest movies this week in preparation, and I don't know what who watched what. So I thought maybe we'd start by going through and talking about what we watched and what we love, what we hate. So why don't we start with Josh?
Oh yeah. Let's see. I kind of went down a rabbit hole as well. And I brought my movies with me.
Yeah.
Um,
Nice.
Ernest Goes to Jail is my absolute favorite. I made my daughter watch it, and she loved it too. Just she commented on the fact that just he did so many different voices and impressions and stuff, and
Hmm.
it's so out there and crazy. It's you know, and it kind of just brings you back
Yeah.
to being
Yeah.
a kid and just I mean 'cause that's when I used to watch the hell out of those movies. But
Hmm.
I watched that one, and then we did Ernest Scared Stupid, of course, and I watched probably couple hours of his commercials, which are just
Nice.
great. But yeah, that's about it. But I don't know. I still need to watch some more. I'm still in
Yeah.
the mood.
Yeah. You don't really get over it.
You
What?
know, earlier I was watching on YouTube that him and Robin Williams together, and I don't know if him and Robin Williams ever was in anything together. If not, I think that was a shame because watching whatever this behind the scenes thing with him and Robin Williams, like they just interacted so well together, and I think it's a real shame we never got to see Robin Williams and Jim in a movie together.
Right,
Yeah.
I agree. They were actually friends because they were the original alumni for some comedy club in LA. I think it was the Comedy Store, yeah,
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
Los Angeles, and that's how they became friends. So,
Yeah, and
uh,
I don't know if a lot of people know that, but he actually Jim Varney was in stand-up
Yeah.
comedy for a long
yes,
Yeah.
time before he
Yeah.
got into the earnest role, and you can actually find some of his stand-up
yeah.
out on YouTube, and I think maybe that's where that video was maybe him and
Yeah.
Robin Williams at the Comedy Store behind the
Well, he
scenes.
also did the comic relief
Yes.
with
Yes.
Robin Williams and
And
Whoopi
Whoopi
Goldberg and Billy
Goldberg.
Crystal.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it may have been that, but yeah, it was just real. I mean, their interaction was just really good, and I wish
Hmm.
we would have seen them together in the movie. It would have been incredible. And
Yeah.
what does this have to do with horror again? Aren't we Bloodfest the podcast?
Well, so the deal was seeing Ernest P. Worrell as an alcoholic, abusive, possibly incestuous father would be horrific. And so that led us into, well, there's been an Ernest movie that's a horror movie, the
Yeah.
Ernest Scared Stupid.
Which
So,
that's the one I watched, and still to this day it holds up being just a really fun, silly, goofy Halloween movie.
yeah, it does a really good job showcasing Varney and his cast of characters, and yeah, and it plays for if you for a small child it would be scary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and to be honest, I hadn't seen that movie since I was probably in my early teens, and I enjoyed it just as much today as I did back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember if I ever watched that as a kid or not. I definitely remember watching Goes to Jail and Goes to Camp. So I watched those two plus Scared Stupid. I will say I didn't like Scared Stupid as much as the other two.
Yeah.
And I really don't remember watching Scared Stupid before. Like the whole concept of taking the kids and the dog and turning them into like little wooden whatever statues and putting them away. I swear I've seen that in some other movie. Because I'm pretty sure I haven't watched that movie, but that whole concept seemed very familiar.
Hmm.
But and the trolls, like they were creepy looking.
Yeah,
they
Yeah.
did a really good job on those. I could see as a kid actually being a little scared of that movie because they were freaky looking.
Yeah. Yeah. And then, we thought there was a certain amount of value of just looking at the bizarreness of the Ernest movies. There's something otherworldly about them, and that could be considered horrific as well.
Yeah, I really enjoyed. When we first talked about this, I was up for it, but I didn't think I was going to enjoy rewatching those movies as much as I did. But man, I love them. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
I hadn't watched them since I was a kid, and I thoroughly enjoyed watching them again. Except for that 100 Proof movie, which
Yeah.
that was just terrible. But and then there was some other movie. What was the other one that you'd watched some of it?
There's Existo.
Mhm.
Existo is a work of absolute brilliance. So it's everyone that's in it you have seen in the Ernest movies. It's the same cast of actors. It's written and directed by Coke and Cherry, the guys that from the ad company that created the Ernest character. And so this movie takes place in a future society where fundamentalist Christians have taken over America and installed a fascist dictatorship. And art has been banned and homosexuality has been banned and rights have been taken away from women, and it's a horrible, horrible thing. And the movie's about artists that are banding together to fight it, and it is a musical, and it is shot like it takes place in during the Prohibition era, and it's got everything. It's like that those sketches on Saturday Night Live where Stefan describes some club and he's just listing weird stuff in it. It's got everything. Well, this movie does. So this movie has drag queens. So you remember Gaylord Mallard? I'm not going to get his name right. So he always plays. He's a bigger guy, and in the Ernest movies. So in Goes to Camp, he's the cook. Yeah, okay. So he's like the main drag queen who introduces acts in this club, and there are leather daddies, there are dwarves, there's just some of everything, and it is bizarre. It's got a moment where Existo, the magician, who first appeared in the Hey Vern, It's Me Ernest sketch show that they did. So Existo comes up on the stage, it's like a dimly lit stage. He takes out a revolver, puts in one bullet, spins it around, and just fucking A. Fucking A. And he keeps doing it until he's like pulled the trigger like 15 times. And then the lights come up and he's sitting on one of those big round inflatable balls that people use like chairs. And he just starts bouncing and doing beat poetry. And that's the first 5 minutes of that movie.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I love it. I love it. So it's a satire, and it's a pretty prescient satire, really. If it was made in '99, and if we were making a satire right now, we'd probably use a lot of the same themes. So, honestly, those guys were geniuses.
Oh yeah, for sure. Something else that I wasn't expecting when I watched, both Goes to Camp and then Goes to Jail. There was two particular scenes in both of those where Jim Varney did a really, really good job of making you feel incredibly sad for his character. Like the part where he was going to go to, he was on death row and then he finally realized he was going to the electric chair. That was so incredibly sad. He's an amazing actor, and it's sad that he left us so early.
Because I think he was wanting to take on some more serious roles. He didn't like people treating him like the Ernest character, because fans did that to him quite often. And he actually had like a really high IQ. He was very smart.
Photographic memory.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so.
And like Josh had mentioned, he was really good at playing different characters. When he was going through doing all those different characters, especially in Scared Stupid, it reminded me a lot of Jim Carrey, and Robin Williams, both of those guys. He's like in the same.
Oh yeah.
The
like
rubber face and
same category as Jim Carrey and Robin Williams.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. So does anyone have any personal stories about Jim Varney?
Well, there was this time back in 1989 when Uncle Jim came over and.
Sorta. My mom got to meet Jim Varney, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I have a picture of her with him, but he was in character. So, but that was really cool. She said he was very sweet, and she had a crush on him, kind of. She thought he was very good looking, and she liked his teeth. And so,
Nice.
I have a really awesome picture of him and my mom together.
Yeah, well, earlier today we were all Googling sexy Jim Varney. And Googling over pics
I'm glad I missed that part.
Yeah. But,
now, you look at those old pictures of Jim Varney, man, you know he could get it.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. No, he was an attractive man.
Probably still is.
He's a little rotten.
Great looking skeleton.
Sure.
Yeah.
He's a little decomposed.
What you gonna do?
He could come back and make a zombie movie.
Yeah. Ernest Goes to the Grave. Ernest rises from the grave.
That.
Josh, would you go watch that with us?
Absolutely.
Tell us why.
Because I have a boner.
All right, finally. Wondered how long we were going to take to get there.
Return of the Living Ernest. Let's do
There
it.
we go. There we go.
There,
We'll get a
that's it.
Kickstarter. Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are some of the other big ones besides like Goes to Camp and Goes to Jail? What are the other big ones? And Scared Stupid. Were there any other ones?
Yeah.
Or are those like?
Saving
Goes to the
Christmas.
army.
Army. Yeah,
see,
that was.
I haven't seen the Christmas one either.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Christmas,
It's
yeah.
good.
Now there was a
so.
Christmas
That's
one.
pretty good.
Yeah. So like the first 5 were theatrically
First-
released.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the rest were direct to video.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I do remember seeing, when I was a kid, seeing those commercials that he did for, I think it was, Coke?
Yeah.
Yes,
And
yep,
there were some
yep.
other ones.
He did
Where
Mellow
just-
Yellow.
Yeah, and he was like, he's always talking to Vern. And we never did see the Vern character,
No,
right? Because
no.
Vern
Yeah,
was
no.
supposed to be you.
Vern was the
'cause
Yes,
camera.
yeah, your Vern, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're Vern.
Yeah, those were amazing.
Yeah,
And
I was shocked whenever I was kind of looking into Jim Varney again, and I did not realize that the character of Ernest is now like 51 years
Yeah,
of Ernest.
yeah.
And the one of the people that he did an ad for uses a CGI Ernest to this day for the commercials.
Oh,
Yep.
wow. Weird.
I love the fact that the advertising company was named Coke and Cherry, and those are the
Mhm.
names of the guys, because it sounds like a great drink.
Sure.
Interesting. Yeah, I also didn't realize that he was the voice of Slinky Dog in Toy
Yeah.
Story. I had
Yeah.
no
the
idea.
first,
Yeah,
the
I
first
was.
two.
I've seen, I think, 3 of them. I know there's
Yeah.
4 now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
3 of them. I had no idea.
Someone replaced him after his death, and it was a friend of his
Yeah.
that actually did it. Yeah.
Yeah.
One of his last films was Billy Bob Thornton's Daddy and Them,
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
in which he played Uncle Hazel, who had been arrested for murder. Really? What the heck?
He's in a Jeff Speakman kung fu movie with a Prison Break.
Huh.
It's called The Expert or something, I think. Which seems crazy.
Yeah. When we were looking at his movies too, I thought there was that 100 Proof movie that we watched. I could have swore we saw a trailer for some movie where he was like a hardened criminal. It wasn't
No.
his character in Goes to Jail, but it was something else. He played
Yeah.
Snake or something.
Yes, Snake. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that.
Mhm.
But I don't remember the name of the movie.
Was that the Prison Break movie?
It could have been.
It could have been.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll have to track that one down and give that one a watch.
Yeah.
'Cause that looked
Yeah.
pretty good.
I wish he had done a vampire movie.
Mhm. Ernest
Yeah.
Goes to Transylvania.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you
I
go.
mean, yeah, he could have. He
Yeah.
could have done it.
Well, they had a few more in the barrel when he passed. They had plans for more.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
And they've tried to reboot the show with a guy that looks and sounds like Jim Varney, but it didn't end up getting
yeah.
made.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. There was only one Jim Varney, honestly.
He studied Shakespeare.
Yes.
Yep, he was a stage performer before he started getting into television and film.
He had an amazing singing voice as well.
I wonder
I
if he
think
could.
one of the first movies I think I saw him outside the the Ernest role was when he played Jed Clampett in the
Yeah.
Beverly
Oh,
Hillbillies.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was one of the first ones, and that's when I was like, he is really an incredible actor. And I think that was about the time he was trying to get away from the Ernest
Mm-hmm.
character and take on more serious roles. And I think the Beverly Hillbillies was one of those early movies of him getting into serious roles.
Yeah, even though technically it wasn't really serious, but
Yeah.
now that you mention it, I've seen that movie multiple times, and I knew it was him.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But he played it so well that I kind of
You
forgot.
forget
Yeah.
it's him.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, he did
Yes.
a really incredible job playing Jed Clampett.
Yep. He was very underrated.
Yeah, I agree with that. I was kind of disappointed they never did a sequel.
Well, that's
Yeah.
probably because he
Yeah, they
died.
definitely could have.
Well, no, I think
No,
before.
well, no. Yeah, because Beverly Hillbillies was 93. So.
Yeah.
All right, Jim, no dying. We're digging you up. We
So-
gotta do the.
Yep.
You gotta do the
Got to
sequel
finish this
here.
movie.
Yeah, they had
He
plenty
was
of time.
He was in a Three Ninjas film with
Oh,
Hulk
yeah.
Hogan, High Noon at Mega Mountain.
Yeah, and I
didn't
guess
even realize
that.
they made more than one Three Ninjas movie.
And I
He
guess
was
that
in
100
some
proof
music
was-
videos as well.
Yeah.
I guess that 100
For
proof was
Hank
one of his
Williams
last movies.
Jr.
Mm-hmm.
One with Hank Williams Jr. All my rowdy friends are coming
Yeah.
tonight or something like that. I'm not a big country fan, so I don't know, but I think that's what it was called. And he was really good friends with Waylon Jennings, and I think he was in one of Waylon's videos as well.
That would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They shared a birthday.
Oh.
Yep.
You know, Vincent Price and Christopher Lee share a birthday.
That's really cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
He also was in an episode of Roseanne where
Yeah.
he played a prince. Actually, it looks like maybe.
He
2
was trying to
episodes.
marry
Yeah.
Jackie.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, I do remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in a lot more than I realized just
Yeah.
looking at his filmography.
Yeah. He had a pretty long career.
Mm-hmm.
And I think by the time they start filming 100 proof, because they had to schedule his shoots around his cancer treatment.
Yeah.
So I think that was his
Yeah.
very last movie. Because all the scenes that he was in, they had to schedule that around all his cancer treatment. So
Yeah.
that tells you how dedicated he was.
Yeah.
That he was
Oh, yeah.
still dedicated to doing that role while battling cancer. Because I don't know, you get lung cancer and it's like I would just want to not even
Yeah.
care anymore.
Yeah, I just want to give up. Yeah, it's crazy. You got to have some willpower to push through that.
Well, and and you look at even a little getting off of Jim Varney, but look at Patrick Swayze. I mean, the dude was battling pancreatic cancer, and for most of that, he was in a TV show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and from what I understand, that's like one of the worst cancers to have too.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he filmed. And he filmed like a couple of seasons of a TV show throughout the whole battle until the end.
Mm-hmm.
And Chadwick Boseman just died right after finishing Black Panther.
Yeah, and his career was just starting too.
Yeah,
wasn't it?
yeah, he
Oh,
was
I
just getting.
gonna
Yeah, he
say,
was starting to
isn't
get
he
big.
kinda young?
Yeah, yeah. He had colon cancer,
And
I
then
think.
The Sixth Sense, Bruce Willis was dead throughout the whole thing.
God
No.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That
that's
was-
crazy.
Spoiler alert.
In the Crying Game, she has a wang. So
Crying Game. I don't think I've seen that. So you did
never
just
seen
spoil
it. Oh, I spoiled
Yeah.
a 40-year-old movie.
You son of a bitch.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't know. That looks a little. Doesn't really look like something I'd get into anyway.
it's good. It's good. At least it was when I saw it in 1993 or whatever.
Yeah. Well, now that I think we're all dried up on talking about Jim Varney, is there what else you guys been doing? Watching anything else?
Well, let's get back to Attack of the Killer Chickens.
No, we're done past that. We've flown the coop
Yeah.
on that one.
Jesus.
Yesterday was the 35th anniversary of Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Now
I
that
saw
is
that.
important
Yeah,
news.
I love that movie.
Yeah.
So goddamn good.
Yeah, I just watched it a
That's-
couple months ago.
That's actually really surprising that Arrow didn't put out a 4K upgrade of that for the
Yeah.
35th anniversary.
Yeah.
Instead, they announced Weird Science 4K and The Last House on the Left 2009,
Yeah.
which I'll definitely be picking up both of those.
Yeah. The Weird Science must have.
I did pick
Yeah.
up this killer copy of the original Fright Night, only to discover it was Region B.
Just
Yeah, you
get
gotta
it.
pay
Get a region
attention
free player.
But why would Vintage Stock have that?
Somebody
That
sold
is
it to
weird.
him. Somebody brought in to sell used discs, and the
Yeah.
person working didn't realize it was Region B.
Yeah,
Like
most
that's not
likely.
something I would think I'd have to worry about shopping at vintage stock.
Yeah, but yeah, just so you're aware and everybody else is aware, if you see that like 18 sticker or 13 or whatever right on the
Yep.
front cover, it's going to be a Region B most
Yep.
likely. That's
Yep.
the first sign.
So I
Unless
have a
it's
region.
umbrella. But
Yeah.
So I have a Region B copy of Fright Night for sale if anybody wants to buy it for
Good
$15.
deal.
you
For
didn't
how
keep the
much?
receipt?
I'm sure it's out in my car. I'm sure I'd have to
Yeah,
look for it.
I just take it back.
Yeah. Yeah. Take it back. Get something different.
Yeah,
Or I could just
the
Region Free player.
Yeah.
yeah, I think those are kind of well, I got lucky on mine. Oh, mine was expensive though. So I bought the Panasonic UB820,
Mm-hmm.
which was like $350, $400. And there was a site, Region Freedom, where you could throw them like 25, $30, and they would uh, give you a region free firmware.
Yeah.
You had to provide like your MAC address of your player and some other info they wanted, and then they would give you a customized firmware.
Yeah.
So mine is now region free. So.
Nice.
But since then, the site's dead, so
Yeah.
you can't do that anymore. But I know there's an online store called 220 Electronics where a lot of people buy region free players from,
Yeah.
and you can also buy them on Amazon too from
Yeah.
third party
Yeah.
sellers.
Yeah. It's nice to have.
Yeah, for sure. Although I still tend to stick with Region A if at all possible, just because I don't like the ugly age stickers and stuff on the front that you can't take them off. It's part of the artwork.
So I buy a lot of 4Ks. I buy are from the UK and are, but there's no.
Those are,
Yeah.
yeah, there's no coating on those.
Yeah.
Most of the time, there's a handful out there that are Region B for some weird, strange reason.
Isn't there a site that like keeps track of that where you can like go look up?
There probably is. I mean, I'm sure you can always look it up on Blu-ray.com as well. I mean, that's my go-to site
Yeah.
for any of that stuff. But I watched quite a few things over the past couple of days. I watched I got Twisted Nerve
Nice.
and Lover's Lane in. I pre-ordered those two together, and Twisted Nerve is an umbrella release that got pushed back a month or two, so I was waiting on both of them. But I watched that today. It's really good. It's about a dude who he's got like mommy issues, and essentially he's got like split personality. So he goes between Martin, which is like a normal 20-something-year-old dude, to Georgie, who's like a 6-year-old kid, and he gets infatuated with this woman he runs into at a store, and I don't want to spoil it, but it doesn't turn out good for certain people. But it was a good watch. Shoot, what else did I watch?
You haven't watched Lover's Lane yet?
No, I was actually gonna probably do that today. I might do it tomorrow. I'm pretty tired.
It's a really good movie. I got the same one, and I watched it the day I got it, and I loved it.
I was interested in it, but I have not picked it up yet.
You definitely should. Vintage Stock has it. It's not Region B either.
Yeah. Yeah, to me, it kind of seemed along the same lines as like Urban Legend.
Yeah.
Or, any of the, I don't know, I can't think of the other ones around that time, but
Yeah.
It kind of seemed like it was that kind of a movie.
Yeah, it's
Valentine's
really
Day.
Yeah.
I also got Ravishing Danny. That was a Mondo Macabro pre-order. It was a blind buy. It's like I believe it's a French film, like a French comedy, but it was English dub. It was good. It was interesting. At some points, it was basically just about this girl trying to get across country, and she wanted to get to Paris, France, was her end destination, and she was like hitchhiking, and just it was kind of like every time somebody picked her up, some crazy shit happened to her. Sometimes funny, sometimes terrible. It was a good watch. I got Frankenstein 80 limited edition. I got one of the last copies from Cauldron Films. I also watched it yesterday. It was it's kind of along the same lines as Flesh for Frankenstein.
Yeah.
Maybe there's really wasn't like any humor to it, but it was a similar film. I really enjoyed it.
Cool.
Yeah, I thought I watched some other stuff too, but no, I don't really remember. How about you guys? You watch anything else recently?
I saw
Josh?
Curse of the Blue Lights.
Yeah.
And
What do you
how
think?
was it?
It was dog shit.
Yeah.
It was just so bad. The storyline was crap. The rubber suits are crap. It just what they thought were jokes weren't funny. It took me like 3 times to get through it. It's just stupid. But I mean, it's really out of the 25, 30 films I've gotten so far this year from Vinegar Syndrome, it's like the only one I've really not liked. So still good odds.
Yeah,
I
I
can
will
take
say,
one turd out of the punch bowl.
Yeah.
yeah, and that month of releases was probably one of the worst months I've seen in the last couple of years. I actually kind of liked it. Like I didn't like it maybe up until like I don't know halfway through. Then it started getting kind of fun, but overall it was okay. It wasn't great for sure.
It does get better. I will admit
Yeah.
that. Like once you actually figure out what's going to happen and they introduce a couple other characters, but
Yeah,
I don't know. By then
the
I was already
monsters were
done.
stupid. I mean, they looked ridiculous. What else I thought?
Summer, would you watch or do this week?
I got caught up on Barry,
Oh yeah.
which not horror, but still a
Yeah.
great show. And then I finished Yellow Jackets season 2, which I'm not gonna say anything. 'Cause,
Yeah, no spoilers.
yeah, no spoilers. So that's pretty much. I haven't had a lot of time lately to watch a whole lot. So yeah,
Yellow Jackets is great, but I haven't
that
watched
is a great
any.
show.
My wife just finished the final episode tonight of
Hmm.
season 2. I haven't watched any of season 2. So
Same
Yeah.
I
here.
watched
Same
all of
here.
one,
Just the
but
first one.
Oh, season 2 is just as good as the first season, if not better.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited
Um,
for it.
Yeah, it was so good.
I watched Two Orphan Vampires. So that's a Jean Rollin film or Gene Rollin. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name to be honest, but I didn't realize. I thought it was a movie from like the 70s because a lot of his stuff is older.
Yeah.
Old like 70s, 80s gothic. A lot of vampire stuff. He seemed to really like vampire lore. But it was good. I mean, it's basically about 2 orphan girls who, by day, they were like blind, and then by night they could suddenly see, and they'd go out hunting for people to feed on. So I really enjoyed it. I don't know if I mentioned I watched that Children of the Corn remake recently.
No, how was
the
that?
reboot or whatever it was. I liked it more than most people I read online. Like there's something like 3/4 of the way through that they introduce that's really beyond ridiculous. So I think that's why people hate it. But the little girl who kind of takes the place of the Malachi from the original, she's excellent. I mean, very creepy. Did a really good job. But it was worth a watch. I mean, I'd pick it up. I think it's only like $10 on Blu-ray or something.
No, it's not bad.
I would buy it for $10. I thought it was pretty fun.
Has anybody seen the new Renfield movie with Nick Cage?
Yes.
I have
Is
not
it
yet.
good?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
good? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good.
I've been waiting for that one for a while. So yeah.
Such a
Yeah,
great
what I thought
movie.
was strange was that I heard that Nick Cage wasn't in it that much, but that is not true. He's in it a
Not
lot.
true at all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell they were talking about,
Mm.
but yeah, he's in it a lot. I mean, he's in 3/4 of the movie probably.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm definitely gonna.
Yeah,
pick
it
up.
looks like a fun watch.
Yeah, I like Nick Cage.
Hmm.
He's definitely in some stinkers, but I think he's been in more hits than he has stinkers. Honestly.
Yeah.
He's brave, I think. So
Yeah,
he's not
exactly.
afraid of taking a film that will probably be a hot mess.
Kind of
I
like
think
Uncle
it's
Lloyd.
just that's
Yeah.
how much he loves to act.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Mm.
I really don't think he cares about whether it's going to be a hit or not. I really don't.
Yeah,
He
he
just
just does
likes
it
the
for
money.
fun and the money. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely he likes the money. I mean,
Right.
some of the stuff we've seen him in, but a lot of it turns out really good. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
that unbearable weight of massive talent was
Yeah.
amazing. That
Yeah.
was so
My
good.
son just bought that one.
Yeah, I grabbed the steelbook of that in Best Buy a while back. Yeah, I enjoyed it a lot.
I love Willy Wonderland. That was
Yeah, that was a
a
fun
really
one.
good one. And I mean, he didn't really talk
He
at all.
not a single line. Yeah, not a single
I
line of
think there was
dialogue.
one where he maybe talked just a little bit, like one word, but it was just typical badass Nicolas Cage action. Like I loved it.
Wasn't he
Yeah.
in that one called Mom and Dad?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes,
Yes,
that's
I
a
that
forgot
fun
was
about
a
one.
good movie.
That is a fun one. I like it
Yeah.
when people hunt their own children.
Yeah. That was great.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a really good one. Yeah, I got lucky on Willy's Wonderland. I for some reason that one's pretty high. Like every time I saw it in the store, it was like $30 for the
Yeah.
Blu-ray,
Mhm.
and I don't think there's a 4K of it. But I found somebody on Facebook who's selling it for 15 ships, so I picked it up.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yep, and then
Is it cold in here?
Oh yeah,
yes,
Yeah, it's cool.
Okay.
very cool.
it's freezing.
And then
I'm just not getting up to turn it up.
a similar movie is Five Nights at Freddy's is coming
Yeah.
out. There's
Yeah.
I saw a trailer for that.
Yeah.
I know that's a game my kids have both played
Yeah.
quite a bit, and I know they've got like 5 or 6 games at this point. But
They
there
have
was some like
books
big
and
name
comics.
people in it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it looks like it's going to be a good movie. God, who was it? I can't remember who was all in it.
Matthew Lillard's in it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, my daughter's super excited for it.
yeah.
I think on the trailer, I think if I'm thinking of the right one anyway, it kind of reminded me of that Showbiz Pizza place when we were
Oh,
Yeah.
kids
Yeah.
in the 80s. Yes.
Yeah.
The animatronic shit. Oh my God.
hmm
That
Yeah,
killed my nightmares for a while when I
My
was a
wife and I
kid.
were just talking about that place the other day. I really miss that place. It was a lot
That
of
was
fun.
such a cool place.
It was.
Yeah, Chuck E.
There's
Cheese ain't
actually-
shit compared to that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
Oh, hell
Chuck E.
no.
Cheese isn't the same, but I think
Not-
that's where he originated from. So
Yeah, that is true. There's actually a documentary on YouTube. I'm pretty sure it's still up somewhere. I'm sure you can just look up Showbiz documentary.
I'll have to.
And it talks about Chuck E. Cheese and how it
I
kind
think
of transformed into Chuck E. Cheese. And
Yeah.
like there's some guy who went and tried to like buy all the old animatronics. I think he did, and he was like trying to restore them. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a good documentary.
I'll have to check that out.
But I was trying to remember too where they were all located. I know there was one, I'm sure, in Kansas City,
There was one in
Yeah.
Springfield, I think.
Springfield,
yeah.
There's one
and then
in
that,
Well,
was
my
there one in
parents
Joplin?
too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was one in Joplin.
That's what I thought, and it was over by like an old where like Sears used to be,
It's
right?
right in that same area where the 7th Street Sonic
Yeah,
is at.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Where Sears used
Yeah,
to be.
that
Sears and that
Sears
movie
used to be
theater.
There
Yeah.
used to be a movie theater there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Man, those were the days.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
That's when life was great.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah,
No
Then we
bills.
got
No
old.
nothing. No
When-
adulting.
And Joplin had
Yeah.
like 5 different movie theaters, so you always
Mhm.
had choices.
right.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think we just got old. I think the world just got shitty.
Yep.
honestly.
Mhm.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's
honestly.
Like,
it.
seriously. Yep, a lot of stuff sucks now.
That's the title of my memoir. A lot of stuff sucks now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, one thing that doesn't suck, pimping out a upcoming episode we're going to be recording. We are getting the writer and director of one of my favorite movies, and it's a movie that forever changed the found footage
Mhm.
genre, made the found footage genre mainstream. Eduardo Sanchez, I think is his name.
Yep, you
Yep.
got it.
He
Eduardo
is the-
Sanchez.
Got it.
He is the director and co-writer of the 1999. It was a record-breaking film, The Blair Witch Project, and he'll be coming on June 4th. I just reached out to him, said, "Hey, love the Blair Witch Project. Will you come on?" And he said, "Shoot, email me the details."
Yep. Yep.
So
Awesome.
he's
That's
going to be
exciting.
coming up
Yeah.
June
Mhm.
4th, and he's actually, I think, involved in a new Blair Witch movie, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that on when I was looking that up when I found out you guys were having him on
Yeah.
the show.
Yeah, he did the Book of Shadows, the second,
Mhm.
the sequel. He
He
directed a
did Lovely
couple.
Molly, which I loved.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
Oh, really?
directed.
Yeah,
He directed a couple episodes of American Horror Story,
and an episode of Yellow
Supernatural.
Jacket.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
Yep.
he's been involved in a lot.
Yeah.
So I am.
Yeah, he's in some good stuff, you know.
So I'm
doing
super
stuff.
stoked to get him on because there's just so much about the Blair Witch Project that one of my favorite movies. To this day it still lives up
Yeah.
to the
It still
reputation.
works.
I
And the
saw that in the movie theater, and a lot of
Me
people
too.
were complaining that the found footage kind of shaky camera thing made them sick. I loved it. I thought it was
and you
fun.
know, I
So
think
Sarah,
the
Sarah
marketing-
couldn't do it. It was we went and she had like a horrible headache at the end. We came out of
Oh,
that
no.
movie and I'm like, oh, that was awesome. And she's like, oh, my head.
And you know,
Yeah.
I think as far as the marketing goes, we have not seen marketing and promotion
No.
done the way it was with the Blair Witch Project. I mean,
Nope.
it was, to this day, it was still brilliant. It was genius. And a lot of people just thought it was real because of how brilliant the promotion was.
Yeah, I remember coming home, you know, and
I mean,
trying
yeah.
to figure out, is this real? Like, I
Well,
tried to research it,
and
and
as part of their deal, the actors were not allowed to promote the movies. They weren't allowed to go on talk shows or
No.
anything to keep it authentic.
yeah, which was
and-
really smart.
Yeah, and there had to be a period of time that passed by before they could do anything else in the film industry because they wanted it to be that authentic.
Yep.
So whenever that movie came out, like, you didn't see any of those actors in interviews or nothing.
Right. Which I think that movie kind of paved the way for like the Paranormal Activity
Oh, definitely.
Oh yeah.
stuff, and yeah, so
I mean,
it's
like I
awesome.
said, it's not the first found footage movie. I think the
Mhm.
first one was done maybe in the 60s or 70s, so it had
Mhm.
been done before,
Right,
but
but not
it-
like that.
but not like that. And the Blair Witch Project really just made it mainstream.
Mhm.
Yes.
All the found footage movies we've had since then is thanks to the Blair Witch Project,
Yes.
hands down.
Yeah.
Without the Blair Witch Project, we wouldn't have the Paranormal Activity movies and all those other found footage movies.
Totally agree.
So I'm very
I will
excited
say-
to have him on.
I will say though that Cannibal Holocaust was kind of similar.
Yes.
Yeah.
They did
yeah.
think that the actors
Yeah.
Yeah.
were
Yeah.
not
uh,
actors
Yeah.
and they died.
yeah.
Yeah,
Ruggero
didn't they give
Deodato
an
was
episode
charged.
on that?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had to drag the actors to court to prove they were alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I believe there was another film too, Snuff.
Yeah.
And I think they had kind of the same situation there too, where people
Just
thought they
thought
were
it was
really
real.
killing people, and
Snuff
yeah,
is terrible.
yeah, it's a horrible movie.
Yeah.
I don't know why I bought it, but it's so bad. Like, it's one of those movies where like I keep thinking about selling it, but I'm like, but it's just so weird. It's so
Yeah.
different. I just can't get rid of it. It's got a really cool case too. Like the artwork
Yeah.
looks really cool.
And then June 11th, we have
Debbie Rochon,
Debbie Rochon.
Debbie
That's
Rochon.
yours.
star of tons of indie horror films.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, she was in the Santa Claus that I got recently.
Yeah.
It's a freaking awesome movie.
Yeah.
You guys should check it out. It's so good. Like it's I don't know, it's cheesy as hell, but it's so well done.
No offense, Joey, but I don't know if I'll take any recommendations from you.
Why not?
Oh,
And
gosh.
next Sunday, we will be reviewing Return to Bloodfart Lake.
No, thank you.
Yeah. Whenever I recommend something, it's not going to be anything like that
Yeah.
stupid chicken movie
Yeah.
or Bloodfart Lake.
Oh, just wait for my June pick.
Oh no.
I,
No,
no. So
I'll
Well,
be
we
out
don't-
that weekend, whatever weekend it is.
when we don't have guests, the movie can be chosen by anyone but Joey.
Hmm.
People on the street.
Or-
Well, kids, you feel like wrapping up for the night?
I think so. I'm pretty worn out. So I know you are too.
Yeah, I got to get up at
Yeah.
4:30 in the morning and get to work. So yeah.
Ooh.
I've got to pass out soon, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
You already did.
Well,
Make sure you're in your bed.
Or
before you
maybe
do
I
that.
had it. Did you said somebody said I had a seizure?
I mean, it
Oh.
looked like you were seasoned, but
I don't know. I got it on my camera that's up there, so I'll
We'll
pull
have
the
a
video
look
and
at.
send
We'll have
it
a look
later.
at
yeah,
it.
you have to play
All
it back.
All right.
Yeah.
We'll put it up on the stream. So anyway, we're gonna leave you guys, as we've been doing recently, with a movie trailer. So coming out on September 8th of 2023, that's this year, from director Michael Chavez. In 1956 France, a priest is murdered, and it seems an evil is spreading. Sister Irene once again comes face to face with a demonic force in The Nun, Part 2.
Welcome home. I know this place isn't as warm as I'd hoped. But I'm going to light a vanilla candle, and it's going to be a game changer.
Will it though?
We're out.
This mansion is unhinged. She needs all the help she can get. You want to be a hero? Pass. $2,000.
This house has a way of playing tricks on you. Oh my God.
Is anybody else seeing this?
Yeah, I'm seeing it.
Be careful. Death lurks around every corner.
Other more powerful entities may come through.
Not on our watch. Well, what are you gonna do? Seriously? Yeah.
They're already dead.
You're gonna be deader.
Okay.
My house will always